Alright, time for the verdict in the case of Earth versus Taylor Swift. Let's hear it from the one and only Honorable Judge Justice J. Hardhammer of House of Crimes. Judge, do you have a verdict?
Yes, Andrew. I have arrived at my verdict.
We've got Taylor Swift in the hot seat today, facing charges of environmental mayhem due to her love affair with private jets. Swift's jet-setting lifestyle in 2023 alone blasted out a whopping 1,200 tons of CO2, covering a mind-boggling 178,000 miles. That's more emissions than a herd of cows after a chili cook-off. To put that into perspective, the average person generates about 16 tons of CO2 annually from all their activities: driving, electricity use, waste, you name it. So, Taylor Swift's private jet emissions in just 1 year are equivalent to the annual carbon footprint of 75 average humans. That's right, one celebrity, 1 year, and the same environmental impact as 75 of us mere mortals. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Welcome to House of Crimes, where we shine a spotlight on political crimes, true crimes, environmental crimes, and even the crimes that don't even make the news. That's right. We cover it all, from stealing candy to stealing elections. I'm your host, Andrew, and today, we're investigating a story that's got everyone talking. Or we'll get them talking once we are done reporting it. We're talking about none other than global pop sensation Taylor Swift and her love story with private jets. Is she really offsetting her carbon emissions like she claims, or is it just a load of PR nonsense? Let's cut through the BS and get to the truth. Taylor Swift, a name synonymous with bangers, sold-out gigs, and an ever-expanding empire. But hold on to your hats, folks, because behind all that glitz and glam lurks a wild ride of private jet extravagance. And we ain't talking your run-of-the-mill jets here, no sir. We're talking the Dassault Falcon 7X and the Falcon 900LX. Reports say in 2023 alone, these babies clocked in a whopping 178,000 miles, belching out a mind-boggling 1,200 tons of CO2. That's like driving your old gas guzzler 1.3 million miles or the annual emissions of 67 whole households. Talk about a carbon footprint that could stomp Godzilla flat. Private jets are notoriously bad for the environment. These hummers of the sky produce at least 10 times more carbon emissions per passenger than commercial flights. Taylor Swift went full throttle in 2023, pumping out a jaw-dropping 1,200 tons of CO2 with her jet-setting antics. We're talking flights crisscrossing from LA to New York, Nashville to concert stops, basically, the whole 9 yards of carbon chaos. Let's crunch some numbers, shall we? According to those Green Warriors over at Greenly, during her American tour leg, Taylor Swift clocked in nearly 37,053 miles on her private jets, belching out a whopping 77.5 tons of CO2. That's like driving around the Earth almost 1.5 times, but instead of a car, it's a carbon-spewing flying machine. And don't forget her South American leg of the tour, added another 29,431 miles and 61.6 tons of CO2 to the mix. Combined, her North and South American tours alone blasted out 139 tons of CO2 over 66,484 miles. And guess what? We haven't even factored in her jaunts to Europe, Asia, and Australia for the world tour. That's right, Taylor's carbon footprint is so big, it's like she's in a race to outdo Godzilla in a CO2 monster showdown. To give you an idea of what it would take to offset this kind of carbon footprint, consider this: a single mature tree can absorb about 48 pounds of CO2 annually. So, to offset just the 1,200 tons of CO2 from her 2023 jet emissions, Tay-Tay would need to plant and pamper about 50,000 trees every year. Yep, you heard me right, 50,000 trees. So, while Taylor's flying high in the skies, the environment's paying the price. Although this may seem like a lot for the singer conducting a record-breaking tour across the world, the report states her 2024 travel still doesn't come close to the top celebrity emitters of 2023, Travis Scott, 6.06 million kilograms of CO2, Kim Kardashian, 5.86 million, and Elon Musk, for 0.56 million. Now, her team wants us to believe she's saving the planet by buying up carbon credits like they're going out of style. Double the necessary credits, they say. But here's the kicker, they're about as transparent as a brick wall on what those credits actually do. Are we just supposed to nod and smile? The carbon offset market is like a shady back alley deal, murky, questionable, and full of smoke and mirrors. But hey, everyone knows that simply planting trees ain't gonna cut it. Trees are slowpokes when it comes to soaking up carbon. If we're serious about cleaning up our mess, we need some heavy hitters in the ring, like throwing cash at renewable energy projects, backing up direct air capture gizmos, and pushing for green practices that actually stick. Look, we get it, Taylor Swift's got a hectic schedule, and those private jets are like her Uber, but seriously, why can't she take a page out of Coldplay's book? They're out here optimizing their tours, minimizing air miles, and being all eco-friendly with their stage gear. Meanwhile, Tay-Tay's just cruising in her Falcon 900 LX, leaving a carbon trail big enough to make Elon Musk blush. And let's not forget Taylor's sneaky PR moves. I mean, showing up at a New York Jets game for her new NFL lover Travis Kelce. Classic diversion tactic, trying to bury the fact that she's burning more fuel than a SpaceX launch. Oh, and let's not forget her words after the Super Bowl on jet lag is a choice. Well, Tay-Tay, maybe it's time to choose saving the planet over dodging bad press. But here's where the celebrities and billionaires have pulled off a slick move to dodge the spotlight on their jet-setting habits. Until recently, the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, had private plane owners on a tight leash. They had to register their jets like everyone else, and that info was public. This meant any Joe Schmo with a laptop could track where these flying Ferraris were buzzing off to next. But don't hold your breath. President Joe Biden just signed a bill into law on May 16, 2024, that flips the script. Now, these high flyers can cloak their jet's registration info. It's like putting on Harry Potter's invisibility cloak for their carbon-spewing chariots. Passed with flying colors in Congress, this move makes it damn near impossible for us mere mortals to peek into their sky-high escapades. Think about that for a moment. The rich folks pumping out tons of CO2 with every private flight can now do it under the radar. It's a classic case of the rich and famous rewriting the rules to fly under the environmental watchdog's radar. So, Swift Squad is singing this tune about how she's offsetting her carbon emissions by buying more carbon credits than a Wall Street banker buys stock options. Her publicist even claimed she had these credits lined up before her tour started, like she's pre-gaming for an eco-friendly rave. But hold up, where's the transparency in all this? They're all vague about the specifics of these credits, what projects they're backing, how effective they actually are. Now, let's talk about these carbon offsets. It's not just a walk in the park where you throw money at some trees and call it a day. Sure, in theory, buying these credits means you're supporting projects that cut down on emissions somewhere else. But in practice? It's a wild west out there. The problem? Lack of transparency and standardization. It's like trying to decipher Taylor Swift's lyrics after a few shots of tequila, confusing as hell. Without crystal clear details on these credits she's allegedly buying, how can we trust they're doing any good? It's like buying a lottery ticket and hoping it's not a fake scratch-off. Even if it were true. Take Swift's hypothetical purchase of credits for a reforestation project. Sounds great, right? Until that forest goes up in flames faster than her latest breakup hits the charts. Boom! There goes your carbon sequestration dreams up in smoke, literally. It's like ordering a fancy dish at a restaurant only to find out the chef sneezed in it before serving. Now, when it comes to these offsets, quality matters. We're talking top-shelf stuff, not some cheap knockoff you find at a dollar store. High-quality offsets are like the designer shoes of the environmental world, expensive, exclusive, and supposedly worth every penny. Bill Gates dropped $600 per ton on credits from Climeworks, the Ferrari of carbon capture. Meanwhile, Leonardo DiCaprio got a bargain back in the day, paying peanuts for some forest project down in Mexico. Sure, it's a steal, but is it really gonna save the planet, Leo? So what could Swift do, then? Instead of relying on these questionable carbon offsets, she could step up her game and really make a difference. Here's what she could do. Number 1. Cut down on private jet joyrides. Look, Tay-Tay, those private jets might be cozy, but they're pumping out more CO2 than a frat house during rush week. Try flying commercial sometimes, or maybe even hitch a ride on Elon Musk's next rocket to Mars. Just kidding, kind of. Number 2. Tour smarter, not faster. Swift could take a page from Coldplay's playbook and optimize her tours to minimize globe trotting. Less jet setting, more carbon footprint busting. Number 3. Go green, literally. How about investing in some solar panels or wind turbines, Tay? Not only will it help the planet, but it'll give you some serious eco-cred. Number 4. Influence for good. Taylor Swift has a unique position of influence. She's got millions hanging on her every Instagram post, but is she using that power for good? A single Instagram post from her could inspire millions to take action, potentially outweighing the negative impact of her jet emissions. Move over, Greta Thunberg. There's a new eco-warrior in town. I mean, there could be. And finally, number 5. Show us the receipts. Transparency, darling. Tell us where those carbon offset dollars are going. Are you planting trees in the Amazon or just buying up empty promises? We want to know. So, Taylor Swift, if you're listening, show us the green, Taylor. No, not the money, the trees. Are you investing in real solutions or just throwing money at the problem like it's your latest breakup song? Because when it comes to the environment, playing games isn't gonna cut it unless you're ready to play for keeps. As one of the most influential celebs out there, she's got the power to set trends in fashion, music, and yes, even environmental responsibility. But Swift's private jet adventures pump out more CO2 than a herd of flatulent cows on a chili binge. And while she talks the talk about offsets, where's the beef? Sadly, we're not seeing her sustainable practices or her genuine effort to cut down on her jet-setting ways. Alright, time for the verdict in the case of Earth versus Taylor Swift. Let's hear it from the one and only Honorable Judge Justice J. Hardhammer of House of Crimes. Judge, do you have a verdict?
Yes, Andrew. I have arrived at my verdict. Let's review the facts, shall we? Miss Swift's private jets cruising a whopping 178,000 miles in 2023 alone, churning out approximately 1,200 tons of CO2. That's like running a factory on wings. Taylor's legal eagles are chirping about these so-called carbon credits she's buying to offset her jet fuel fiascos. But hold on a second, there is no evidence. Sure, Taylor Swift can croon about love and heartbreak, but when it comes to the environment, actions speak louder than platinum records. Buying carbon credits is one thing, but true environmental stewardship means rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands dirty, planting trees, cutting down on flights, maybe even switching to a bike once in a while. So, after weighing the evidence and wading through the legal mumbo-jumbo, this is my verdict. Taylor Swift, guilty as charged of being a high-flying environmental menace. It's time for celebrities to step up, own their impact, and show us they're more than just Instagram posts and private jets. Because when the Earth's your jury, there's no appeal.
Well, there you have it. Taylor Swift is guilty of all charges. Let this be a wake-up call to all celebs and big shots out there. Transparency, accountability, and genuine commitment to sustainability are not optional. It's time to clean up your act, people, before the planet gives us all a one-way ticket to climate catastrophe. Thanks for watching House of Crimes. Got a topic you want us to cover? Drop it in the comments below. We love hearing from you. I'm your host, Andrew, reminding you to stay curious, stay informed, and stay green.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.